Whatever it is you're doing right now, whether you're a student, a professional, an entrepreneur, or just someone trying to figure out their next steps in life, I'm here to tell you that critical thinking can help you do it better, no matter what path you've chosen. Developing this skill of critical thinking will allow you to make better decisions, solve problems more effectively, and ultimately improve in every aspect of your life.
And hey, it's not just for people who are into philosophy, logic, or deep intellectual stuff. It's for anyone who wants to think clearly and make smarter choices. That's why in this video, I'll be breaking down everything you need to know about critical thinking, especially if you're new to the concept.
First, we'll define what critical thinking actually is. Then I'll show you why it's not as complicated as people sometimes make it out to be. Trust me, it doesn't require a super high IQ or anything like that. After that, we'll explore how critical thinking can benefit your creativity, help you remain intellectually curious, and make you less gullible. Because let's face it, we all want to be able to see through the nonsense, right? And I'll also explain how it's useful to anyone, regardless of your job or lifestyle. Then we'll go into specific areas of life where critical thinking makes the biggest difference. And finally, I'll share with you some practical steps on how to start improving your critical thinking skills today, even if you feel like you're a total beginner.
So grab a cuppa, sit back, and let's dive in. Alright, let's start with the basics. What exactly is critical thinking?
Simply put, it's the ability to analyze information objectively, evaluate different perspectives, and form a reasoned judgment. It's about questioning assumptions, avoiding biases, and thinking deeply rather than just accepting things at face value.
But don't let that definition make it too intimidating.
People sometimes think that critical thinking is this super academic skill that's only for geniuses. That's not true at all. Critical thinking is something we all can do, and probably already do in small ways in our everyday lives. It's not about being the smartest person in the room. It's about being thoughtful, reflective, and willing to ask questions. Now, you might be thinking, okay, sounds great, but isn't this all a bit too complicated? Honestly, it's not. You don't need a PhD to be a critical thinker. And you definitely don't need some special kind of genius. All it takes is practice and a willingness to slow down a bit and think things through.
Think about it like this. It's like building a muscle.
When you first start working out, lifting weights seems tough. But over time, as you practice, it becomes more natural, right?
The same goes for critical thinking. You don't have to master it overnight. Just start with the small stuff.
Begin by questioning the thing you hear and read. Asking yourself, is this true? Why is this person saying that? Could there be another perspective I'm not considering? Simple, right? One of the most underrated benefits of critical thinking is that it helps you stay intellectually curious.
You know how kids always ask why all the time? That's exactly the kind of curiosity critical thinking encourages.
It's that childlike wonder that keeps life interesting. Instead of just accepting things as they are, you're always exploring, always questioning, always learning.
And it's amazing for creativity.
When you get into the habit of thinking critically, you start to see connections that others might miss. It's like your brain becomes this idea-generating machine.
You know how sometimes you worry that you're gonna run out of fresh ideas? Well, with critical thinking, the opposite happens.
The more you practice, the more your mind opens up to new possibilities. You'll find that ideas just start flowing because you're used to looking at things from different angles.
So, who exactly benefits from critical thinking? Honestly, everyone.
Whether you're working in an office, running a business, creating content, or even just navigating everyday life, critical thinking helps you across the board.
Let's take some examples. Say you're a teacher.
Critical thinking helps you design better lessons because you're able to analyze what works and what doesn't. Or if you're an entrepreneur, it helps you see potential risks and opportunities more clearly. Even if you're in a more hands-on job, like a mechanic or a chef, being able to troubleshoot problems and think critically under pressure is a huge asset. The bottom line is, critical thinking isn't limited to any one type of job or person. It's a universal skill. Now, where does critical thinking really make a difference in life? I'd say it's most impactful in areas like decision making, problem solving, and relationships. When you think critically, you're able to make more informed decisions. You take into account the pros and cons, potential consequences, and different perspectives before acting. This leads to better outcomes in everything, from your career choices to personal relationships. It's also incredibly useful in today's world of information overload. With so much news, social media, and opinions flying around, it's easy to get swept up in misinformation or half-truths. Critical thinking helps you sift through that noise and identify what's really true, what's biased, and what's worth your attention.
Alright, now we've talked about what critical thinking is and why it's important. How do you actually start developing this skill? If you're a total beginner, don't worry, I've got a few practical tips for you.
First, start by asking questions. When you hear something new, don't just accept it at face value. Ask yourself things like, is there evidence for this? Could there be another explanation? What's the source of this information? Even simple questions like these are a great start. Second, make it a habit to look at things from multiple perspectives. When you're confronted with a problem or decision, ask yourself how someone else might view it, whether that's a friend, a colleague, or even someone you disagree with. This helps you think more holistically. And third, try journaling or reflecting on your decisions. After making a choice, take a few minutes to write down why you made that decision and how it turned out. Over time, you'll start to see patterns in your thinking, and you'll get better at spotting areas where you could improve. The point is, it's not about being perfect. It's about being curious, thoughtful, and open-minded. And if you're interested in learning more about critical thinking, decision making, and other skills like this, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, if you're looking for a few great books to start your critical thinking journey, I've made another video where I go over some of my all-time favorite books on this topic. I'll link that video for you to check out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and keep questioning everything.